This video is intended for viewers aged 13 and up. If you are not 13 yet, please leave.
Phew, so far so good. Hey,
That's Gray Megatron again, of all places.
I found you, Faker.
Faker? Huh. I think you're the fake Megatron around here. Yes. You're comparing yourself to me? You're not even
Only
good
you
enough
eat
to
those
be my
words.
fake. There's no time to play games. You won't even get the chance.
Hello everybody, my name is BW Megatron, and welcome back to Beast Week. That's what we're calling it now, that's what we're going with. And today we are looking at the biggest figure of Beast Week, though not the final figure because we're only halfway through the week. We're looking at the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Beast Wars Megatron. And to start off, yeah, this Dino mode's magnificent. If you thought the 8 mode previously looked pretty good, or any of the other Beast modes, then this thing is basically perfect. It is a bit gappy, there are a couple gaps, which you'll notice, but overall, there's like no kibble. Though I do have a few issues that I'll bring up, yeah. But as per usual, painting and sculpting here is pretty fantastic. Yeah, let me move the tail back up, because sometimes that can come misaligned, which is a bit of an issue, but yeah. It uses this rubbery material, which has a couple issues in some areas, but overall, it works really well. It very well, in my opinion, replicates that kind of lizardy reptile skin that this figure is going for, you know? Since, you know, he's trying to be a T-Rex. And it makes sense that they would reuse this mold for the Jurassic Park crossover figure that they're doing very soon. Just in, like, Jurassic Park T-Rex colors rather than, you know, this. Whatever this is. But, yeah. Let's get a little bit more in depth, shall we? Starting off with the head, this is very much a kind of generic-ish movie T-Rex head. It's not as unique as the Beast Wars Megatron show model, but I'm honestly kind of okay with this. I would prefer the show model. Of course, it's got a lot more personality, but this is fine. It could be better, but yeah, sure. And to go over gimmicks, this is kind of for articulation as well. Sorry, I bumped that with my chair so I can get into frame. When you open one piece of the jaw, so I guess we'll go with the bottom. It also opens the top so that you have a wider, like in a movie, you know? It looks like a T-Rex from a movie, and you can see in there, if I can keep it in frame for once, it's got a bit of a Siege 5mm port, which allows you to port in Siege blast effects. This is why we still have the Skylinks part here, which allows you to just plug it in there, and he's breathing fire. Though, honestly, this makes a bit more sense in his alternate mode, which we'll show it there as well. But, yeah. Good dino head. Also, paint is very clean. I like the red eyes. The white teeth also look very good here. The purple and the green also do a very good job of replicating the show colors, but, yeah. It's a very good-looking head sculpt, in my opinion. Moving on to the body, it also looks really good. Pretty panelly. It's a bit weird to review this because I'm not used to reviewing dinosaurs. He does have the tiny little arms, which are iconic for the T-Rex. And flipping it over to the bottom, might as well look at it now. This is amazing. How little kibble's here. Like, really, it's only, like, at, like, the hips, where it's, like, really noticeable. And, like, this looks amazing. I can't believe they were able to do this. I mean, it does really hamper the dinosaur mode, in my opinion, or robot mode, not dinosaur mode, but this does look great. It's a great choice to make it the Jurassic Park crossover. But yeah, The skin texture does feel very rubbery because they have this like rubber overlay, which I have issues in some areas, but not like here. Here it's fine. And like these are spring loaded, which allow it to get out of the way for articulation, which is very nice. Though it is, like I said, a bit panely. And yeah, overall I think this torso is very strong. It's nice and large, but like not too large, but not too thin. It feels perfectly proportioned to be a very nice looking T-Rex in my opinion. The legs are a bit weird because they are the robot mode legs with this little kind of overlay from up here, and you can kind of see the hinge, but it's not super noticeable, and you can kind of see this little cutout, but again, it's not super noticeable. The feet are weird. So like you can kind of see how like there's this little bit of white back here. Well, the bottom of the feet, it's like all one white piece, and I'm guessing like the majority of the foot is like one white piece, or like two white pieces or whatever. Or like a white piece and this purple piece, but whatever. But I think it's not super noticeable that it's one piece under there from the top of the feet. It's not too crazy noticeable. You can kind of see it, but it works all in all. And it allows for the purple overlay to still be there while allowing for the white bony claws, which I think still look great. It's probably most noticeable from the back, you know, but who cares? Who freaking cares? It's a big purple dinosaur. Yeah, it's got great, nice, meaty legs. The proportions are great. There's not really much paint here, so I'm not really noting on the paint because it's just kind of like this purple, plastic, rubbery overlay. But it does still look nice. The tail is where we get a couple issues. Not necessarily with the look overall. I do like the green still. It does like to come undone, at least from whenever I've transformed it. That's just because it's on an arm hinge. But yeah, there you can kind of see this joint noticeable, but it's the tail joint. It works. It moves. It's fine. You can kind of see this panel though, how it's kind of bent. This is a problem with the transformation. At least on my copy, I think my copy might have been a bit misaligned, or it got a little bit of flash. It's very hard to get this bit over this bit, so it's just been kind of bending, which is a pretty big problem, QC-wise. I might have to use like a hairdryer to like heat that up and then bend it back into place, maybe re-glue it down or something, and then try to cut some flash off of it. You might have to do that on your copy as well, because you can kind of see how it's like going over the part, you know? And it's just as noticeable on this side. I kind of have it inside the part, as you can see. It's not great. I do wish it was a bit better, and I don't know why there's spikes going up towards his butt or taint or whatever, but whatever. It's a tail. It makes sense. This is the part of the tail that is the Beast Wars bit from the robot mode, and yeah, whatever. So yeah, other than those slight issues which will come up in transformation, this Dynamo looks pretty stellar. We're not going to go over accessories because he doesn't have accessories. And again, as per usual with these videos, we're not going to do size comparisons. However, we got to look at articulation because this dinosaur is actually pretty well articulated. As previously mentioned, he has the mouth hinge joint that goes up and down, so on and so forth. He also, using that joint, he can also look up and down. He also can use the arm neck joint to look up that far and not super down, but that's okay. He can also move it side to side thanks to the bicep swivel on the arm, which is helped because the spring-loaded joints are able to get out of the way pretty easily, which I think is a nice choice. The dino arms, they are on little ball joints, which allows them to go all the way around, go out about that far, which is fine. No other joints, but again, these are tiny little vestiges, basically, which is fine. The legs really surprised me, because as you can see, there's this little overlay, so you think there would only be like a knee, like with some Masterpiece figures. But no, he can kick forward that far, backward that far, and outward like so. Oh my gosh. I can't believe we've got, especially compared to some other dino modes that we might look over this week. This is magnificent. That amount of dino leg posing. I'm not really into dinosaur toys, but that posing really excites me. And the rest of the legs are the robot legs. It's got like a knee bend, it's got a swivel here, it's got this, which is able to go, the foot's able to go forward and backward, and it's also able to pivot. And yeah. Finally moving on to the tail, it's able to wiggle a bit, though that does get it unhinged from the back or whatever. And then it's able to move up and down, again, unhinges it, and this is able to the little bit at the back of the tail is able to move back and forth, and it's able to swivel, like so. Though, that's just because of, like, the hinges for articulation, the swivels because of transformation. Yeah. So yeah, all in all, this is the best posed beast mode I've ever seen. It's insane. You're able to move it really however you want for a T-Rex, except for maybe those little vestigial arms and maybe the tail. But overall, it just poses so well that I'm doing this little dinosaur mode conclusionary shot with him actually posed in a decent pose that makes him look like he's roaring in the air. This is amazing, an amazing dino mode. If you're a dinosaur fan, then pick this up, or maybe even just order the Jurassic Park one when that's available. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking this up just for the dino mode. Yeah. But a dinosaur is not all this figure is. This is a transformer. So that means it can transform into something else. So let's get into that really annoying transformation so that we can get into the mode I cared about more when I ordered him. So yeah, let's get him unposed here because it's going to be simpler when he's just static, essentially. I guess we'll start with the legs, because that makes sense. So you can kind of see how it's on a hinge. You can see mine's a bit floppy because I didn't fully hinge it back in there, which is a bit tough when you're in this mode. But yeah, so let's start by unpegging the leg bits, and also kind of unhinging them. So we unhinge them from there, and we unpeg it from these two slots. This should be pegged in, like back there, onto like the little peg hinge, but from there you're going to want to unpeg that as well, so that you can get the legs like this. Oh no, King Poseidon fell over. I'll have to pick that up later. But yeah. From there you're going to want to take these bits and then pull them out from where they are from on a very tough joint. And then hinge them back together. It's going to be a bit tough. My biggest problem with this transformation is that some of the joints are way too tough. Yeah, you're going to want to hinge it back like so. Move stuff out of the way. So yeah, you're going to want to hinge it back here towards the middle, and you're going to want to peg the two crotch halves together so that you have a decent legs or whatever. Yeah. Legs. Moving on to the arms, these might have already came undone for you. Might as well move that over, move that back in, move that over, move that back in, so on and so forth. And then we'll wiggle the arms back and move this might have also unhinged for you automatically, but if not, you want to unhinge that, and then we move these back into place, and then position the thigh bits however you please. And something I forgot to mention on the legs on both sides, you're going to want to pull that out, swivel it around, and then pull it back in on both sides so that the guns are facing forward. You see? Guns facing forward. From here, I'm going to mess with the arms so we can do a dramatic head reveal. Yeah. You're going to want to swivel this around so that you can kind of see the hollow bits here on the back. You're going to want to swivel that around so that's on the back of the body. You're going to want to hinge these bits up. Let me try to get it to work. There we go. That one works. This one works less. I don't know why it fits in like that, but it's fine, whatever. But yeah, you hinge that up. You're going to want to swivel the tail around like that, you know? So that's on the back there. And you're going to unpeg this bit and clamp it around so he has this weird claw arm. And boom. That's that arm. The other arm, you really just swivel it around, and boom, you got dinosaur arm. Yeah. Finally, working on the torso, we're going to want to swivel it around like this, and hinge it upward, but when we hinge it upward, we are going to have to move the head, but I can swivel it around for the dramatic head reveal later. And then kind of have it like this. And then from there, we accordion it down, which is a bit scary to do, onto this little hinge peg here, and then we plug it in nice and snugly. That, when you first transform it, that joint's going to give you a lot of trouble. I want to let you know. Also, make sure that's hinged back as per usual. Get things into place, so on and so forth. And yeah. From there, we're able to do the dramatic head reveal, which is able to give us Kingdom, Leader Class, Beast Wars, Megatron. Now, let's get back into the review or whatever. But yeah. This robot mode's great. But to start off, the painting and the sculpting on this mode is magnificent again. He's got a lot of backpack though. I'm going to mention this here while we're doing the turnaround. He's got a ton of backpack. A bit much in my opinion. I wish he had less, but again, that would mean he would have a worse dinosaur mode. Beast Wars Megatron has always had a bit of a backpack, and I think it folds down pretty well. I think it's really just the thigh bits that I take a bit of objection to. But it's fine. It could be worse. And the arm has a bit of kibble as well, but like mainly these side bits is what I consider kibble. The rest of the arm's fine. But yeah, let's get a bit more in depth with him though, shall we? Starting off with the head. Yeah, that's Beast Wars Megatron. One bit I would like to mention is that, like, I like how there's, like, these different tones of purple. Though, a bit of an annoyance is that you can see how, like, the back of the head is just this kind of metallic-y purple that's used, like, here. You know? It's really annoying. I do wish they fully painted the head, but hey, what you gonna do? I'm gonna look at it from the front most of the time anyways. The one detail I do really like is that he's got this tiny freaking Predacon symbol. It's got the same praise that I gave to Rat Trap earlier this week. It just looks amazing, you know? It looks freaking amazing, dog. It just got amazing sauce or whatever. Otherwise, I think the paint overall is really clean. The metallics here are a bit less clean in its whatever, but it's kind of hard to notice. But the face, the purple with the red, super clean. And I love how glossy the face is. And the face, let me mention it, looks just like Beast Wars Megatron, in my opinion. It looks just like the show model. I do wish they would give alternate heads for Transformers more, because I do kind of wish he also had a smiling face. Like this grimace, I like. I think it does fit his personality, but I do also wish he had more of a smiling face to go along with it, because that's kind of how I always saw Megatron. Either he's like, "Grr," or he's like, yes, yes. But yeah, good head. Moving on to his kind of squat torso, which kind of fits with the other Megatron-esque characters in the War for Cybertron line. I think the sculpting detail also works really well. I like the breakup of different colors with the metallic in the middle, the silver in the vents, the silver teeth, and then the overall purple body. This is something I think this does better than what I've seen with the Jurassic Park one, where it's like, this is one color, this is one color. It doesn't look great on the Jurassic Park model. But this one kind of wins out because it does have it has three colors, which is better than the two colors. It just looks a lot cleaner. And the line work, sculpt work here also works really well. It kind of helps to hide how, down at the crotch, we'll look at the crotch as well since it's pretty similar to the body. Again, two colors, looks nice. I like the little details. It kind of hides how there's like a split here, using some clever design work and detailing, which I just think is very good to see. You love to see it, you know, in a figure like this. And yeah, the paint is also pretty good. Pretty clean. Nice detailing. I really like it. And to start off, I can't do the arms separately this time. I just kind of got to zoom out on the whole body, because he has two different arms. He's an asymmetrical character, which is accurate to his design. On one arm, he has this giant sword stabbing device. He has this large stabbing claw device. It's accurate. It's a bit bulky. I wish it was a bit slimmer, but whatever. It's accurate to the show. And you got this tiny arm. I do wish the tiny arm had a bit more paint, but you're mostly going to be looking at this, not this, so it's okay. The other arm, though, it's the dinosaur head, again. And like I said, this gimmick works way better. They both have the same upper arm, by the way, or at least same general design. I think it looks nice. It's a bit plain, but the gunmetal does it a lot of favors. But the shoulder pads are different, just due to the part of the dinosaur body. They're similar. They got the same kind of split, and the color feels nice, and the texture feels really nice. It feels very dinosaur-y. But yeah, back to where we were. He is able to use his arm as a cannon, which is where this bit comes in. It's a bit hard to fit like larger blast effects like this, and it might droop a bit. So that's why we're gonna take off this back bit, so that's a bit better to fit. And there we go. He can shoot blast effects out of his freaking arm cannon. This is a great use of the 5mm blast effect system, because, oh my god, I wish I had some purple blast effects so it could look like the show. You could be like, pew, pew, pew. I think This is just a great design decision. Good job, Hasbro. Good job making use of the War for Cybertron gimmick, even though you don't really use it much on the Beast Wars characters. The legs certainly are legs. Again, like Optimus Primal from yesterday, removing the dino bit does reveal some very nice detail. This is very well painted. I love this kind of purple paint and the metallic silver paint and the little blasters here. I think it looks very nice. I do kind of wish these side blasters were bigger because that would fit the show model a bit more, but it's fine. It does help with proportions and probably helps with posability as well. I don't really like the hollowness in the side of the legs, though. It makes them feel a bit cheaper. But it's deal withable. Most of the weight is... He is a heavy figure. Technically, I've seen someone measure him and the City Series 86 Grimlock, who is a taller figure, but they're the same weight because of all this rubber. The lower legs are the dino legs again. These look very nice, very wrinkly, very scaly. I think these lower legs just work really well. And it's also accurate because he had the dinosaur lower legs in the show, so I think it works. Overall, I think this figure works. It looks like what I think most of War for Cybertron is going for. It's trying to take the show models of whichever series it's from, whether it be Beast Wars or G1, and tries to modernize it. And I think this accomplishes it pretty well. It looks like the show model, but slightly modernized and slightly tweaked to look a bit better as a toy. But yeah, I think he looks great. And here's where I would usually do accessories, but he comes with none but like the same kind of collector's card, which I'm not going to show because it's randomized. It's a randomized sticker collector's card. So it's like, it doesn't really matter which one you get. You peel off the sticker, it reveals their fate, I guess. Even though the show seems to be about like breaking fate or whatever. I don't care. It gives you cool stickers, I guess, if you are into stickers. I probably gotta put more stickers on my computer, honestly, but who cares? It's just stickers, you know? I guess from there, we gotta move on to articulation, which we'll get into right now. His head here is on a ball joint, which allows it to look up a little bit, down a little bit, though if you unhinge it, it's able to look up super far. They're not really down. That's a fun quirk with these Megatrons. For some reason, they're on like a platform that allows them to look up super far if you unhinge it. And full swivel. Unlike with the Rat Trap, where his swivel didn't get a full swivel, he's able to get a full swivel. Though that might chip the paint, but it's fine. Arms, I gotta cover them separately. However, one side has a butterfly. This side does not have a butterfly. This side does because of the way that the dinosaur head works. This side has a butterfly, which does help in doing the blaster poses. It's able to move up that far as well, which is fine. I wish it could move up higher, but yeah. He's able to hinge up a little bit on this side, though you're able to get a lot more hinge if you invert it, which would allow you to do like yes, you know? Which is something I like to do, a little quirk I like to do. And the head's able to hinge up that far and down that far like in the beast mode. Moving to the other arm, again this side has no butterfly. Let me hinge him back into place. You are able to swivel it up that far. Again, you know, it's a bit of a tight joint. It's able to move up, I think it's slightly farther. But yeah, about the same. Again, bicep swivel, 90-degree bend, and the hand doesn't swivel, but it is able to hinge upward? I don't know why they put that in. It seems weird. I don't know, who cares? Who cares? Megatron's torso is able to swivel, though kibble might get in the way. It doesn't really, but it might a little bit. The kibble is able to be maneuvered, but you're not really going to be posing it either way. It's really just maneuvering, so you can get it however you like. The legs are able to hinge forward that far, backward, yeah, forward this far, backward this far, and they're both able to hinge outward, not super far. Again, the blasters get in the way a little bit, but it's fine. It's deal-withable. Sadly, there is no thigh swivel, but there is kind of a knee swivel, which works differently, but it's okay. The knee's on a single bend that allows it to bend 90 degrees, and then the feet are the same as the Dino feet, where it's able to hinge that downward that far, upward that far, and it has your War for Cybertron ankle pivot. Yeah. So yeah, all in all, I really like this Beast Wars Megatron. I personally think it's able to do basically everything you need a Beast Wars Megatron to do. It's got an amazing dinosaur mode and a decent transformation. I'm not super fond of it. It's a bit panely. But it's got a decent robot mode as well that looks a lot like the show. It's got some pretty good articulation. I do wish it had better knees, and a thigh swivel, but it's okay. I'm able to deal with it. And yeah, the texturing looks nice, everything looks very good, and overall I'd say it's worth the $50, especially compared to some other leaders in the War for Cybertron line. But yeah, definitely try picking this up, especially if you're a Beast Wars fan. And yeah, that's this Beast Wars review concluded. Like, comment, subscribe, so that you can see what will hopefully be tomorrow's review, which will be starting off our brief look at Wave 2 with a deluxe Beast Wars character. You know who it is by now, though, because a lot of people like her. I'll see you next time. Bye!